While the entire world was busy staring at Tesla, BYD, and Ford, a silent beast was being bred in the shadows, and it's about to change everything you thought you knew about electric vehicles. For decades, the off-road world was ruled by the roar of internal combustion engines and the smell of diesel. But those days are officially numbered because Jeep just dropped a nuclear bomb on the industry. It's called the Jeep Recon. With a starting price tag of $65,000, this isn't just another SUV trying to be green. It is a tactical statement of war against every other manufacturer on the planet. But here is where the real twist begins. This massive, rugged, and intimidating machine doesn't have a single drop of gasoline in its veins. It is fully electric. Now, you might be asking yourself the same question everyone else is. How can a battery-powered vehicle survive in the middle of a desert or on a dangerous mountain trail where there are no charging stations for hundreds of miles? What kind of secret battery technology is Jeep hiding under that muscular frame that allows it to go where even a Tesla Cybertruck might struggle? Is this just a massive marketing hype designed to sell a lifestyle? Or is the new king of the EV world finally here? The details that are leaking out right now are so disruptive that they might completely shift your perspective on the future of transportation. You need to stay until the very end of this breakdown because we are uncovering things the mainstream media is missing. But before we dive into the mechanical soul of this beast, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. You do not want to be the last person to know about the massive shifts happening in the automotive world. To truly understand why the Jeep Recon is such a big deal, you first have to look at the battlefield it's entering. Jeep isn't just a car brand. It's a cultural icon owned by the Stellantis Group, one of the most powerful automotive conglomerates on Earth. While brands like Toyota or Nissan make cars for everyone from grandmas to college students, Jeep has a very specific, almost fanatical target audience. They don't sell transportation. They sell adventure. They sell the idea that you can leave the pavement behind and conquer nature. When you look at the numbers, the scale of this impact becomes terrifying for the competition. Jeep consistently moves between 1.2 and 1.5 million vehicles globally every single year. Even in a volatile market like 2024, they maintained a massive presence with over 1.3 million units sold. Their biggest stronghold is the United States, where the culture of off-roading isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle choice. From the mountains of Colorado to the deserts of Arizona, the Jeep Wrangler and Grand Cherokee are symbols of American freedom. But Jeep's reach is far wider than just the US. They have established a massive footprint in China. Despite the aggressive rise of local giants like BYD, they are also infiltrating the European market through Italy, Germany, and France with high-tech hybrid and EV models. Even in premium markets like India, Jeep has carved out a niche for itself that competitors find impossible to replicate. Here is the secret sauce. Jeep doesn't try to be Tesla. Tesla plays the game of Silicon Valley tech and massive scale. Toyota plays the game of absolute reliability and mass-market practicality. But Jeep plays the game of loyalty. Jeep owners are some of the most dedicated repeat buyers in history. Once you enter the Jeep ecosystem, you rarely leave. This is why the Recon is so dangerous for other brands. Jeep isn't trying to find new customers. They are moving their existing, loyal army into the future. The Recon is the bridge between the old-school, raw mechanical era and the high-tech, digital future. It's a calculated plan to ensure that when the world finally flips the switch to all-electric, Jeep is already sitting on the throne. This isn't just a new model launch. It's a survival strategy disguised as a rugged SUV. The design is the first thing that hits you, and it's clear they didn't want to lose that legendary DNA. Unlike most EVs that look like bars of soap or futuristic spaceships, the Recon keeps the boxy, aggressive, and unapologetic look of the Wrangler. It has the straight lines and the wide, intimidating stance that screams power. But the most iconic feature, they kept the removable doors and the open-air experience. Imagine being in a silent, electric beast with no doors and no roof, deep in the wilderness, hearing nothing but the wind and the gravel under your tires. This is an experience no other EV on the market can provide. It is the perfect blend of raw, primitive adventure and cutting-edge electrical engineering. Underneath that rugged, old-school exterior lies a masterpiece of modern engineering that makes the Jeep Recon a legitimate mechanical beast. While most people see just another SUV, the real magic happens within the chassis. Jeep has built the Recon on the STLA large platform, a high-tech architecture specifically engineered for massive power and extreme durability. Think of this platform as the skeletal system of the vehicle. It's designed to carry heavy battery loads while maintaining the flexibility needed to crawl over jagged rocks and through deep mud. In a traditional off-roader, you have a heavy engine and a complex transmission, but the Recon replaces all of that with a massive lithium-ion battery pack tucked safely beneath the floor. This placement isn't just for space. It creates a low center of gravity that makes the vehicle incredibly stable. When you are tilting at a 30-degree angle on a mountainside, that weight distribution is the only thing keeping you from flipping over. But the real game changer is the torque. In a gas-powered truck, you have to rev the engine and wait for the power to kick in. In the Jeep Recon, the power is instantaneous. The moment your foot touches the pedal, 100% of the torque is delivered to the wheels. This is a massive tactical advantage for off-roading. Whether you are trying to pull yourself out of deep sand or scale a steep incline, you don't have to wait for the engine to respond. The response is immediate, silent, and terrifyingly powerful. This instant force allows for a level of precision in rock crawling that internal combustion engines simply cannot match. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, range. Every EV skeptic asks the same thing: how far can it actually go? The Recon is being engineered to hit a range of 400 to 600 kilometers on a single charge. However, real-world off-roading is a battery killer. Moving through thick mud or climbing vertical trails requires significantly more energy than cruising on a highway. To combat this, Jeep is focusing on fast-charging capabilities that allow you to juice up the battery to 80% in a fraction of the usual time. While finding a charger in the middle of a national park is still a challenge, the technology is moving toward a future where solar-powered charging stations at trailheads will become the norm. The STLA platform is also modular, meaning Jeep can swap in different motor configurations, from single-motor efficiency to quad-motor insanity that could potentially rival the most powerful supercars. This isn't just a car. It's a platform for the future. When you stack the Jeep Recon against the giants like Tesla and Toyota, the industry hierarchy starts to crumble. Tesla has dominated the conversation for a decade, but Tesla is a tech company that happens to make cars. Their focus is on autopilot, sleek aerodynamics, and street performance. Even the Cybertruck, with all its sharp angles and stainless steel, feels more like a tech gadget than a rugged tool. Tesla is the king of the highway, but the Recon is designed to thrive where the highway ends. Then you have Toyota, the king of reliability. Toyota plays it safe. They have mastered hybrids because they know their customers value trust above everything else. While Toyota is slowly dipping its toes into the electric water, they are being cautious. They aren't taking the massive risks that Jeep is taking. Jeep is jumping headfirst into a segment that doesn't even exist yet, the hardcore off-road electric segment. This is a brilliant move because they aren't competing with Tesla for the city commuter, and they aren't competing with Toyota for the suburban family. They are creating a third path. They are targeting the person who wants the future of technology but refuses to give up the raw, dirty thrill of the trail. The Recon offers removable doors and a level of modularity that neither Tesla nor Toyota can touch. It's a specialized weapon built for a specialized task. While Tesla focuses on software updates and Toyota focuses on fuel economy, Jeep is focusing on pure, unadulterated capability. By the time Toyota releases an all-electric Land Cruiser or Ford brings out an electric Bronco, Jeep will already have claimed the territory. This is a classic military maneuver in business. Occupy the high ground before your opponent even realizes the battle has started. The $65,000 price tag starts to make sense when you realize you aren't just buying a battery and 4 wheels. You are buying entry into a lifestyle that was previously off-limits to the electric world. It's for the adventurer who wants to go green without going soft. The real question isn't just about whether the Jeep Recon is a good vehicle, but whether it's worth the $65,000. To the average person, that number sounds like a luxury price tag, but to the world of hardcore off-roading, it's a calculated investment in a new era of performance. You have to understand that producing a vehicle that can survive the brutal vibrations and impacts of a trail while housing a sensitive, high-voltage battery system is an engineering nightmare that costs billions in research and development. This isn't a plastic toy. It's a reinforced fortress on wheels. When you buy a Recon, you aren't just paying for the hardware. You are paying for the freedom to explore the planet without leaving a carbon footprint. For the premium buyer, this is the ultimate status symbol, a way to show that you are technologically advanced but still rugged enough to get your hands dirty. However, as exciting as this revolution is, we have to talk about the hidden dangers and the brutal reality that no one in the marketing department wants you to hear. Every new technology comes with a massive set of risks, and the Jeep Recon is no exception. The most terrifying challenge is battery durability in extreme environments. In a controlled city environment, batteries are safe and predictable. But when you are slamming a 3-ton vehicle over jagged granite rocks or submerging it in a muddy river crossing, the physical stress on the battery housing is immense. If a rock manages to puncture that protective shield, the repair bill won't just be expensive, it could be catastrophic. Replacing a specialized EV battery pack can cost nearly half the price of the entire vehicle. Then there is the psychological barrier of range anxiety in the wilderness. If you run out of gas in a traditional Jeep, a friend can bring you a 5-gallon jerry can. If you run out of electricity 50 miles deep into a national forest, you are essentially stranded until a heavy-duty tow truck can reach you. This lack of a safety net is the biggest hurdle Jeep has to overcome to win the trust of the old-school off-road community. Furthermore, we have to consider the impact of extreme weather. Batteries are notoriously sensitive to temperature. If you are taking your Recon into the freezing mountains of the north or the blistering heat of the Sahara, you will see your range drop significantly. These are real-world variables that can turn a fun weekend trip into a logistical nightmare. But despite these challenges, if Jeep pulls this off, the global market will experience a massive earthquake. The success of the Recon would force every other major player to tear up their current playbooks. Ford would have no choice but to accelerate the development of an electric Bronco to protect its territory. Toyota, which has been leaning heavily on hybrids, would be forced to realize that the wait-and-see approach is no longer viable. Even the Chinese giants like BYD, who are currently dominating the affordable EV space, would be forced to pivot and create premium lifestyle vehicles to compete with Jeep's brand power. We are witnessing the birth of a brand new category, the high-performance off-road EV. This shift will change how we design our national parks, how we build our charging infrastructure, and how we define adventure in the 21st century. The Jeep Recon is the first domino in a chain reaction that will eventually lead to the total electrification of the outdoors. It represents a bold, risky, and incredibly expensive gamble on the future. Whether it becomes a legendary success or a cautionary tale depends on how these vehicles perform when the pavement ends and the real world begins. One thing is certain: the era of the loud, gas-guzzling off-roader is facing its greatest challenge yet. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and understand the hidden truths behind the world's most powerful machines, you need to be part of this community. This industry moves fast, and the details we've covered today are just the tip of the iceberg. Make sure you are subscribed and have your notifications turned on, because the next update in this electric war is going to be even more explosive. The future isn't just coming. It's already here, and it's silent, electric, and covered in mud. Stay tuned for the next deep dive.